If you were born before 1966, there's a little over $8,000 sitting on the table with your name on it, and Service Canada will not chase you down to hand it to you. Let's fix that. 6 things you need to check, and number 6 is the one most people get completely backwards. Number 1. Nobody is coming to sign you up. Here's the myth that costs people the most. Most Canadians think that the moment they turn 65, Service Canada automatically starts their old age security. Sometimes it does. Around your 64th birthday, many people get a letter saying they've been selected for automatic enrollment, and if you get that letter and everything on it is correct, you're set. But here's the part nobody tells you. Automatic enrollment is not guaranteed for everyone. If Service Canada doesn't have enough information on file, you never get that letter, and no one calls to remind you. The clock still starts on your 65th birthday, but the money doesn't because you haven't applied. So what does that cost? OAS will only back pay you a maximum of 11 months. At the current maximum of $751.97 a month, 11 months is over $8,200, and every month you wait past that window is simply gone. It does not roll forward. It is not owed to you later. It evaporates. That's your $8,000, and this is exactly how people lose it. They assume they're signed up, they wait, and by the time they realize nothing arrived, the retroactive window has already closed on the earliest months. So this week, do one thing. If you're 64 or older and you have not received a letter about automatic enrollment, do not wait for it. Log into your My Service Canada account or call Service Canada and confirm whether you're enrolled or whether you need to apply. Assuming you're covered is the single most expensive assumption in this entire video. Number 2. You get to choose the month your pension starts. Once you know you have to apply, here's the lever most people don't realize they're holding. You are not forced to start OAS the exact month you turn 65. When you apply, you tell Service Canada which month you want payments to begin, anywhere from the month after your 65th birthday up to the month after your 70th. That choice is worth real money, and picking it carelessly costs you. If you're already past 65 and only applying now, ask for the retroactive start up to 11 months back, because those are dollars you've already earned by being eligible. But watch the trap. If you formally chose to defer your OAS and then change your mind, you can only reach back 11 months, or back to the month after you turn 65, whichever is shorter. You cannot collect the whole deferral period as a lump sum. A lot of people believe deferring is like a savings account they can empty later. It is not. So the concrete move here is to decide your start month on purpose. If you needed the income yesterday, start it now and claim your back pay. If you're comfortable and healthy, you might delay on purpose, and that's exactly what number 3 is about. Either way, do not let the start date be an accident. The difference between a deliberate start month and a shrug can be thousands of dollars, and it's a box you fill in once on one form. Get it right the first time, because undoing it later almost never gives you the money back. Number 3. The 36% raise almost nobody claims. Here's the one that sounds too good to be true, but it's written right into the program. For every month you delay OAS past 65, your payment grows by 0.6%. That's 7.2% for every full year you wait. Delay the full 5 years to age 70, and your OAS is 36% higher for life, and indexed to inflation on top of that. In today's dollars, that turns a maximum of about $752 a month at 65 into more than $1,020 a month at 70. That's roughly $270 extra dollars every single month, guaranteed, for the rest of your life. So who should do it? If you're healthy, you expect a long retirement, and you have other income to live on in your 60s, deferring is one of the best guaranteed returns you'll find anywhere. The break-even point lands somewhere in your low 80s. Live past that, and deferring wins. Who should not? If your health is poor, if you need the cash now, or if you have little other income, taking it at 65 is usually the smarter call. And there's one specific situation where deferring is almost always a mistake. It can quietly cost you more than the raise is worth. Stay with me, because that's number 6, and it's the one most people get exactly backwards. For now, just know the raise is real, it's automatic once you choose to delay, and nobody at Service Canada will talk you into it. You have to claim it yourself. Number 4, the income line that quietly takes it back. If you've done well and your income in retirement is healthy, there's a line you need to know, because crossing it hands your OAS back to the government. It's called the OAS recovery tax. Most people call it the clawback. In 2026, once your net income passes $95,323, the government starts taking back 15 cents of OAS for every dollar you earn above that line. Earn enough around $154,000 if you're between 65 and 74, and your OAS is clawed back to zero. Here's why this matters even if you're nowhere near rich. A single large withdrawal from an RRSP or RRIF, the year you sell a property, or a big one-time capital gain can push you over that line for 1 year and cost you thousands in OAS you'd otherwise keep. The fix is planning the timing of your income. If you're married, pension income splitting can move income to the lower-earning spouse and keep you both under the threshold. Drawing down RRSPs a little earlier, before OAS even starts, can lower the income spikes later. Spreading a big withdrawal across 2 tax years instead of 1 can keep you under the line both years. None of this happens automatically. The CRA will not call to warn you that you're about to trip the clawback. This is a do-it-yourself defense. So if your income is anywhere near $95,000, sit down before year-end and look at what's pushing you over. A few $100s of planning can protect thousands of dollars of pension. Number 5. Full OAS isn't automatic. It's earned by years. Here's an assumption that burns newcomers and returning Canadians alike. People think everyone who qualifies gets the same full OAS check. You don't. Your amount depends on how many years you lived in Canada after age 18. To get any OAS while living in Canada, you need at least 10 years of residency after 18. To get the full amount, you need 40 years. Anything in between is partial OAS, calculated as your number of years divided by 40. So if you lived in Canada for 20 years after 18, you get 20/40ths, half the full pension. That's a permanent difference of hundreds of dollars a month for the rest of your life, and a lot of people never check it. Why does this matter for the born before 1966 crowd specifically? Because if you immigrated as an adult, spent years working abroad, or left and came back, your residency count may be lower than you assume, and Service Canada calculates it from their records, which are not always complete. If you have gaps, dig out the dates. Canada also has social security agreements with many countries that let you count time lived or worked in those countries toward the 10-year minimum to qualify. That can be the difference between getting nothing and getting a partial pension. So the action here: if you spent any significant time outside Canada as an adult, do not guess your residency years. Confirm them, gather proof of your dates in and out of the country, and ask specifically whether an international agreement applies to you. The difference between the number they have and the number you can prove could be a bigger check every month for life. Number 6. The one most people get completely backwards. Here it is, the point that flips everything you just heard about deferring. If you have low income in retirement, you may qualify for the Guaranteed Income Supplement, the GIS. A monthly top-up on top of OAS that can be worth several hundred to over $1,000 a month, and it's tax-free. But here's the catch almost nobody knows. You can only get GIS if you are actually receiving your OAS. So if you defer OAS to chase that 36% raise, you throw away every month of GIS you could have collected in the meantime. And for a low-income senior, the GIS you give up is almost always worth far more than the deferral bonus you gain. That's why deferring, which is brilliant advice for a comfortable retiree, is often the worst move for a lower-income one. Same program, opposite answer, depending on your situation. And that brings me to the honest part of this whole topic. There is no secret rule that switches on because you were born before 1966. Your birth year is not a trigger, it's not a penalty, and anyone online telling you there's a special hidden OAS deadline tied to 1966 is usually setting you up. Often it's a scam trying to get you to confirm your details and hand over your social insurance number. The only clock that's actually ticking is the real one, the 11-month retroactive window, and the deferral decision you make between 65 and 70. Those are real. The scary birthday headline is not. Know the difference, and you keep your money instead of handing it to whoever wrote the headline. So here's your one action step this week. Log into your My Service Canada account Or call Service Canada and confirm two things: whether you're enrolled in OAS and what your start date and residency years are on file. Fix any gap before it costs you. If this helped, subscribe and share it with someone over 60. The ones who find out in time keep the money.